to my channel, and today's video is a watch me work design. So as always, I will pop all the links to the products I've used in the description box, along with any discount codes I may have for the companies. If you do enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, and no messing around today. Let's get on with the design. Mwah! Okay, so this design was partly inspired by a set I saw on Instagram. I can't for the life of me remember who it was by, but if I do remember, I will pop it in the description box. So this is part one of two videos. This video I'm going to show the base nail design, and in the second one I will do all the decoration. Otherwise it was just going to be a really long video. And I'm doing a bit of a nude, white and rose gold look today. So now I've got that out of the way, let's get on with what I'm doing. So this nail is going to be a colour blocking nail, so I'm starting off with sort of the basic shape, and I'm doing a bit of a triangle in the centre of the nail. It's not a full smile line, it's just the start of that shape. So I've placed my bead where I want the end of my triangle to come to. I've used my brush to really straighten up the two side lines, bringing it in to a point, doing as much work with the brush as you can, making sure I've got an apex in place because you're not going to cap this. And now I'm just going to go in with my craft knife, which I've dipped in the powder, just to take away any excess, to really sharpen up those two side lines. Now I did leave this a little bit too long, and the acrylic had started to harden that little bit much that it was harder to do, but I did manage to get rid of the bits I wanted to get rid of. I did just finish it off camera so I could get the hand right close to me. So moral to the story, don't leave it quite so long. But you know, you learn. You could do this without using the craft knife. You wouldn't have quite such a sharp point at the end, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to leave that to fully set now, and I'm moving on to the pinky. Now this is going to be sort of a reverse smile line nail, but because I want the whole set to flow, instead of having a soft, either round or overly smile line, I'm bringing it to a point to mirror that middle triangle that I have just done. So I place my bead roughly where I want the smile line to come to, and then I've just pulled it into that triangle shape. Doing lots of work with the brush to make sure those two sides are nice and straight, and the point is in the middle of the nail because we don't want it wonky and off centre. That would be just coming in with my cuticle bead, making sure I've got my apex in place, all my structure with this cover powder because it is a strength powder, and it doesn't need capping. Oh, I've just remembered, I didn't tell you what I was using. So for my cover powder in this design, I've used Team Gorgeous Apricot. I know you're all expecting honeycomb, but I thought I would use something a bit different. So this is Apricot. So I'm just finishing off this sort of nail bed area, and then I'm going to put that to one side. Well, I'm not going to put it to one side because it's, you know, attached, but I'm going to forget about it and allow that to set. So going back to my colour block now, there's a lot of backwards and forwards, toing and froing in this design, as you would always find with colour blocking, because you've got to wait for bits to harden. I'm just going in with my nail file. I can't remember what grit it is. It's a 100 grit, I think. And I'm just sharpening up those two side lines, making sure it comes right into that point. I did just go over the top to refine it a bit, so that there was less work to do at the end on the whole nail. And once I was happy with that, dust away the excess, and I had put down a separate piece of kitchen roll to collect the dust so I didn't get that in my acrylic. And I'm going to take a breath, and we are moving on to the next part of the colour block. And for this I'm using Team Gorgeous Whipped Cream. So this is the Gorgeous White from the brand, and all I'm doing here is putting in sort of a thin band of white or line of white on one side of the triangle, bringing it right up to the point, and so that it connects going down the next side, but not going down the next side, just so that it's flush with it. There we go. Again, you want to make sure you've got everything in place, and when I was happy with it, going in with my craft knife again just to straighten that line, really crisp it, and on that side so that it is completely flush to that nail bed apricot colour, and then I'm going to leave that to set. There we go. Right, the next nails. I am staying with whipped cream, and I am on this one going to be doing an ombre. So I'm placing my bead of whipped cream roughly at the natural free edge, blending it down nice and soft, so I've got a soft blend, and then just working it down to the free edge of the nail. You can work really thin with this because I am going to be capping it. I always cap my ombres to protect the ombre, although sometimes I wish I wasn't because they look so rubbish. And I'm doing exactly the same on this nail. I was getting a bit lost with which was which nail, and I was going to say pinky, but this is not the pinky. So placing the bead, blending it down towards the cuticle, and then bringing it up to the free edge. Again, I'm going to be capping this one too, so just working nice and thin, almost painting it on. This is a really nice pigmented white, so you can work really thin with it and it not be a wishy-washy white colour. So next I'm going to finish these two nails, so I'm going back in with honeycomb and I'm placing my bead just above where the white finished and blending it over top of it. Now it doesn't have to be the world's perfect ombre on this nail because I am going to be covering a lot of it, so I wasn't too worried about making it perfect. Just pulling it down over top, so you want as much of a nice blend as you can get, but like I said, if it's not perfect, it's not the end of the world. And where the colour might be a little bit mismatched, darker in places, just adding a little bead where I need it and filling in. Again, working nice and thin with this because as I said, I'm going to be capping this all, so I don't need to build up my strength and structure with this colour, and I don't want to do it too thick, otherwise you're going to end up with a really big, thick, bulky nail that either needs loads of filing or just looks thick and bulky. So pressing down, keeping it as neat as I possibly can, and then I'm going to leave that one. So for rose gold, I am using the gorgeous Rosey G from Team Gorgeous. This is one of the most beautiful rose golds I have ever seen. It is just gorgeous. And I'm going to be using that to do a glitter fade on this nail over top of the white. So place my first bead just above where the white finished and blending it down, and I'm kind of blending it out so it becomes sparser of glitter at the blend. Now this is a pre-mixed glitter acrylic from Team Gorgeous, so it does need to be capped at the end, and that's perfect for what we are doing because they all needed to be capped. And I'm just adding a little bit down there. To be honest, once I'd finished this nail, this bit seemed redundant because not much of it was on show, but it looked nice whilst I was doing it. And because it is a pre-mixed acrylic, you don't need to have wet acrylic to lay this glitter into because it's already got acrylic in it. Right, back to my colour blocking nail. I have filed it off camera and got away the dust because if I'd kept all the filing in, it was going to be a super long video. So I'm using this Rosey G and I'm creating a band on the other side of the apricot triangle. So again, keeping it nice and thin, pressing it in, trying not to get any of the glitter over top of the apricot colour. So going in with my brush just to clean up that line where I need to. Now I'm working this nice and thin because obviously I do need to cap this glitter, so you just want a nice thin line of it, or a thin layer of it should I say, so that you can then come in and cap and not add loads of bulk that means when you file, you actually file it into the glitter itself. So just cleaning up that line as we go. Again, because I'm capping it, if you don't clean up at this point, you'll end up trapping any glitter and it will ruin your line. So moving on to the little finger, and I'm going to fill in the tip of this nail with that gorgeous Rosey G. So exactly the same as I did with that sort of band of glitter on my colour block nail. I'm working it nice and thin because I'll be capping this colour. I'm pushing it right up to that line of our nail bed colour and right up into the wings so we don't end up with any gaps. Again, I am cleaning that line as I go so that there is no glitter on my nail bed colour. And for anyone wondering, I am using the Glitter Planet Aqua brush in a size 12, and you can get these brushes so flat so you can really get in there and clean up any lines. Once I was happy with that, going back to my little colour block band, and I'm just capping that in clear. I'm using Clear Candy, also from Team Gorgeous, and just making sure I'm just capping that line of glitter and keeping it right up on that line, because if you overlap when you come to put the if you come out too far when you come to put the next colour on, you're going to have a gap. So just making sure you cap over top of that glitter. And now I'm going to cap the glitter free edge on this nail, and whilst I am doing it, I'm also going to cap my other two nails. This is where I'm building my strength, my structure, my apex and everything. So I'm just going to quickly do those and then we'll be back to finish that colour block nail. Okay, so I filed that line in on the Rosey G side, so that is nice and straight and sharp and neat, and I'm going in with the next colour. So hopefully I'm going back in with a bead of Apricot, and with this bead I am creating sort of a V around those two colours. So I'm starting it at the point and placing that where I want the point and to the thickness I'm wanting it. I'm not filling in the whole tip because I'm going to come in with another colour. But so getting that nice point in place and then just filling in down each of those side lines with Apricot. Again, because this is a strength powder, I'm building it to the thickness that I want. I'm not going to cap this one. want to make sure you've got a nice wall to butt the next colour up to, and try to keep the thickness of this V the same on either side. So I'm going to finish off this side of my V. I will then leave this colour to set. I will file it nice and straight and sharp, and then I'll be back with you to do the next colour in the colour block nail. Okay, next up I'm going back in with whipped cream, and I'm doing that on the opposite side to what I did it before, and I'm just filling in the last bit of this nail. So that little triangle on the side right up to the free edge where there's no acrylic, I'm just filling it in. So again, I'm going to be doing this as a proper layer, so the full strength structure bitty, no capping. I hate how messy colour block nails look, but when you do file them in at the end, the magic is just like perfect. So you want to make sure you don't overlap this, so I'm making sure that is nice and flush with the other line, and then I've let it set, filed it, and I'm coming in with Rosey G on the other side. So I'm going to do exactly the same as I did with the white, except I'm going to cap this, so I'm not sort of making a right old mess. I am cleaning that line as I go, making sure the whole lot is covered, and it's a nice thin layer of this glitter, and keeping it as neat as I possibly can. And then when it is complete, I am going to cap it in my clear candy. And then I will do all of the filing and refining off camera as always. But that is the end of this first part of my Rosey G Rose Gold design. So as always, I will pop all the links for the products I've used in the description box. I do have a discount code for Team Gorgeous, which is Helen TG5, and also for Glitter Planet, which is Helen 10. Both of those are in the description box. Please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to click that subscribe button, and I look forward to seeing you in part 2. Bye! Mwah!